We are honored to be joined by a media icon. Dominic, you like that? 30 years in the business, political journalism. Right now, he's hosting one of the many things he does every Sunday from 4 to 5 p.m. You can catch him on 77 WABC, his views, listening to others' views. He's written extensively for the Huffington Post. He's been on Face the Nation, CNN, Fox News, and his 2009 memoir called No Mama's Boy. My good friend, Dominic Carter. Good to see you, Dominic.
Steve, it's great to see you. I have to be honest with you, man. I feel almost like a groupie, a tremendous fan, because I have enormous respect for your work. You mentioned Face the Nation, the only other shows. I'm more excited right now to be here with you than any of those shows.
Dominic, I just hope you feel that way after this is over. Hey, Dominic, let me ask you this. Been covering politics for 30 years. You know it better than most. New York, New Jersey, the nation. Are we, as we tape on the 16th of February, be seen after, are we as divided? Are we the divided states of America, A and B? Is that the way we're going to live moving forward? And how the heck's that work?
I hope not. I hope it's not the way, Steve, that we're going to live going forward, but we have to be honest in assessing this situation. Politically, things are bad in our country. And that's one of the points that I try and make all the time on WABC. So if I argue point A, 50% of the country disagrees with that point. If I argue point B, 50% disagrees with that. We have got to find a way, Steve, for all of us to come together. We have got to, you mentioned my longevity in terms of broadcasting. I have never seen it this bad. We have got to find a way to lower the temperature politically so that what happened January 6th at the Capitol, that can never happen again. You and I both know that. But we've got to find a way. Republicans have to stop pointing at Democrats. Democrats have to stop pointing at Republicans. Independents, we can go on and on and on, but it has to stop, Steve. We've got to find a way to lower the temperature.
Let me ask you this, Dominic, because at WABC, we've had John Catsimatidis, the owner of the parent company, if you will. We've had Curtis Lewa on recently. I just did Curtis's show. Frank Morano, a great friend. Also, check out the NJ Globe program that's on the weekends as well with David Wildstein. But here's the point of the question. The station leans right. Your audience leans right. You are a very open-minded, progressive guy who's not a dogmatic political commentator. How do you deal with an audience that, for many of them, they're inclined not to agree with you just because they think they know who you are and what you believe in?
Absolutely. And that's why I tell it the way it is. We've got to be honest with the American people. And that's what, Steve, you've done for a number of years, for decades, as a matter of fact, with your show. We cannot sugarcoat the issues. It is what it is. I do my honest best to call it for exactly the way it is. Not with a Democratic leaning effort, not with a Republican leaning effort. It is what it is. And in that vein,
Dominic, hold on. I'm sorry for interrupting, but here's my question. January 6th happens. We run the clips of President Trump and what he said. And it's not about relitigating the trial in the Senate. It's not about that. It happened, okay? But we hear what's being said. We hear what others are said. And we see the mob, and we see the insurrection. We see cops killed. We see others maimed. We see members of Congress running for their lives. If you say that's what happened, that's not your opinion. That's not my opinion. Those are facts. Do you have a significant number of people who say, well, you're just the enemy of the people, as Jim Acosta's book at CNN says, and we have some axe to grind? Or are we stating what? Do we have a right to just our own facts, Dominic? Can we just make up our own facts because they comport with our worldview?
And see, Steve, that's my point about how you're dead on. One of the things that bothers me to my core being is that in this day and age, you can find a news channel that's going to tell you whatever it is you want to hear. Not based on all the facts, but they're going to give you a slant, no matter what your position may be, left, right, middle. They're going to give you the slant of what you're looking for. We have got to get away from that. One set of facts. I think my friend, the late Senator Patrick Daniel Moynihan made that point. Steve, one set of facts. We have got to tell the truth. And that's what I try to do on television and on radio.
And by the way, for our friends at CNN and MSNBC, that means when the Biden administration screws up, when the Lincoln Project, who are the folks who are anti-Trump trying to stop him, and they have a scandal going on, you cover it. You don't cover it up. You don't sweep it under the rug. You cover it. Because
Amen.
as Dominic's saying, if we don't have a horse in the race in public television. Dominic does not either. There are a set of facts. Let me ask you this, Dominic. What do you believe the legacy of President Trump will be moving forward? And then I want to ask you about President Biden and his challenges. The legacy of the Trump administration, your view.
I think President Trump, history will judge him as someone who was not a conventional politician, someone who did things differently, someone who has an enormous successful track record in some areas, restoring the economy in terms of getting the virus, the vaccine for us sooner than expected, even though the experts told us it was not going to happen. But I think that history is also going to judge him as somewhat of a polarizing figure. What happened, Steve, in 2024? I am telling you, you've known Donald Trump. I've known Donald Trump. I would not write him off. We'll see what happens.
You would not?
I would not write him off. I really wouldn't.
Do you think the Republican Party, Dominic? Sorry, Dominic. Do you think the Republican Party is the party of Trump? Or we had Chris Christie on the other day. There's Nikki Haley. There are others. There's the Mitch McConnell speech after the Senate vote to acquit the president. Do you believe there are going to be two Republican parties, the Trump party and everyone else?
I think we're looking at a very divided Republican Party, and that may not play well. But I do want to say this. Remember, Steve, in 2016, Donald Trump was one of, 15, 16 candidates, and he emerged with the nomination. So all I'm saying is 2024 is a long time from now, but I would not write him off.
Dominic, 1 minute left. Greatest challenge and greatest opportunity that President Biden faces in our nation is?
The greatest challenge Biden faces is that he has got to find a way to unite America. That is the greatest challenge, and the economy, and to restore America given this pandemic. That's the greatest challenge. You know, right now he's still in this honeymoon stage. We'll see what happens, Steve. But I think we can agree things are going to be, at least right now, a lot quieter than the last 4 years. So
before I let you go, Dominic, every Sunday when you go in at 4 to 5, and I never miss it, you never ask yourself, hey, do we have enough to talk about?
Absolutely not. First of all, we could go on with President Trump, former President Trump, for quite some time. And to folks that listen to me, I'm not just talking about, don't peg me as some bleeding heart liberal. They have done a lot of good things that Trump has done. So we could talk about Trump, we could talk about Biden, we could talk about the out-of-control crime in New York City.
De Blasio, Murphy in our region.
Yes, Steve.
Yeah.
We could go on
Dominic,
and on and on.
Dominic, you are the easiest guest to have because you're a self-starter, you're engaging, you challenge me, you challenge our thinking. We look forward to having Dominic Carter, our good friend, every Sunday, 4 to 5 p.m. on 77 WABC. Dominic, I look forward to joining you on your show in the near future. All the best, my friend. You take care.
Thank you. And I am a big fan of your show, Steve. Thank you very much.
It goes the other way as well, Dominic. I'm Steve Adubato. That's Dominic Carter. We'll be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare, PNC, Grow Up Great, the New Jersey Education Association, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, Atlantic Health System, New Jersey Sharing Network, NJM Insurance Group, and by Fedway Associates, Inc. Promotional support provided by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association and by New Jersey Globe.
I was diagnosed with cystic fibrosis when I was 2. It's hard to grow up with CF. But I have an awesome care team at Goryeb Children's Hospital, helping me do the things I want to do, like play lacrosse. And now I've been recruited to play in college.
Where you go for pediatric care matters.
Atlantic Health System, because every moment is a moment that matters.